few months ago, I made a video discussing live service games and how they should be unreviewable, in that they keep on updating and changing the game every few months. I still hold this vision that the good ones achieve this, like Fortnite and can't really think of anything else. But today I want to talk about my frustrations with these games, which I will be referring to as gotcha games, since they are trying to get their hooks into you to make you either a profitable whale they can milk, or as player bait to bring in more attention to the game through player retention.
Gotcha, bitch!
Obviously, my first critique of these games is that they lock off most progression essentially through a paywall of either money or your time. I used to play Apex Legends, but I stopped about 2 years ago because it was starting to feel like a second job if I wanted to earn any rewards through the battle pass. I was focused on doing my dailies almost every day, playing for like 30 minutes a day or so I could level up maybe like once or twice to get some meaningless doohickey like a spray, but I really wanted only those like flashy legendary character and gun skins. After playing the game for years, the gameplay eventually got stale and tiring, and I just had to quit because it was like the same thing over and over and over again. The battle pass was the same, the characters were starting to feel so similar and boring, and then the gameplay was just not really changing that much. Like, there was no like really interesting weapons and general gameplay. So they had like a map every few like months or so, and they had like maybe one gun or something like that. It's just so boring after a while, so I just dropped the game. Obviously, the gameplay for most of these live service gotcha games is going to be pretty solid in terms of feel if they want to gain a player base, but most of these games have the most shallow type of gameplay, in that they are only focused on a few good modes and they change it like very little. Like Apex with its BR mode and Overwatch with its payload mode. And while these can be fun, they can't keep a player base satisfied for a while, and eventually they want to drop them because the gameplay gets stale. So the company pulls every FOMO trick in the book to try to make sure you don't miss out on any of the limited events, which by the way also have a battle pass too now, so enjoy that. And now I go into my personal worst thing about gotcha games, as I understand why microtransactions are needed since you want to keep the game afloat, but this part I find inexcusable, and that's that their stories always suck and they make their world suck too. The story is seen as another carrot on the stick that we, the piggy, are being trained to follow. And the story just cannot end, because if the story ends, that means the game has to probably end too. So they have to do so many convoluted plots that never have an end in sight. They may have a big bad guy that you are meant to face, but you're never going to beat him really, because that means he can't be sold back to you for $19.99. Call of Duty, for example, has been infected by Warzone to such a degree that it's impacted the campaigns, which should have been just separate things in my opinion. For example, in Modern Warfare, Alex, who got blown up in a factory, he's fine, he walked it off. Graves, who seemingly died in a tank in an MW2.
Well, I wasn't in that tank.
Modern Warfare 3 literally apes most of its gameplay from Warzone missions, and it's even impacted further by these bizarre character revivals which are unexplained in the campaigns themselves. Black Ops 6, while I personally really like the campaign, I noticed that there were elements of the Warzone that they were really heavily setting up in the story, with Avalon and the Crime Syndicate, which feels like such an obvious attachment just because of Warzone, since they feel loosely connected to the story at best, and also the ending for the game is pretty much just a multiplayer ad that doesn't leave you with any satisfying conclusion like the other Black Ops stories.
Who is this man?
Suicide Squad Kill of the Justice League was a parasite that leached off the Arkham franchise, and barely seemed connected to it at all. Deadshot and Harley Quinn, for example, are completely different characters from their Arkham counterparts, as they wanted to replicate the film version so they can be more marketable to a wider audience. Batman joining the Justice League after literally faking his own death to maintain his secret identity seemed like such a left turn from where Arkham Knight left off. This game also did not have any real conclusion, as you still had to fight off like 13 or so Brainiacs, and it was just mostly set up for like the seasonal content essentially, which, well...
Oh no! Anyway,
I played Rainbow Six Siege for a little bit, for mainly the gameplay, but never really got into the story myself. But I watched a video here about it, and I recommend for you to check it out, as it turns out the story there is also a massive dumpster fire, and probably even worse than like the other ones that I've given examples of. So, in conclusion, don't play these gotcha games. They're trash, and it's mainly just a marketing scheme in order to gather money from your pockets. I'd recommend playing more single player games and more like multiplayer games that don't have like all these like microtransactions in it that are like worth like $20, $10 or whatever, right? Like play the more unique games out there and give them a chance, as these live service games are nothing but a money sink. Anyways, I think that should be it for this video. If you like what you heard, please give this a like and subscribe, and share what your thoughts are in the comments below. Anyways, talk to you guys later then. Bye.